Hello trainers, Professor Palm here, and I am so excited for the fall! I love watching the leaves change colors, I love seeing them fall off the trees, I like raking them up, maybe jumping into a pile, but most of all, I'm looking forward to that wonderful, cool autumn air. I mean, seriously, this has been the hottest summer ever. I swear, going outside is like going into a desert. In fact, desert-dwelling Pokemon could leave the desert, come to us, and there wouldn't be any change. Seriously, Groudon, you've been with us since the beginning of summer, and it's gotten even hotter. Thank Arceus you haven't gone primordial. I just want to say, I have nothing against the desert. In fact, I find the desert amazing as so many Pokemon that live there are really strong, are powerful, and also, they have an incredible humidity immunity. I'll even say that one of my favorite Pokemon of all time, Flygon, is from the desert. That's a really cool Pokemon, but the only problem about the desert is everything that lies there. Not just the heat, not just the cacti, but the dangers within. Trainers, heed my advice. The desert is a very scary place, as there's so many dangers there. You could fall into a quicksand pit, you could fall into a sinkhole, you can even run out of water. Then we're also going to have to talk about the Pokemon that live there and what they can do to you. There's Pokemon that follow you at night that'll mutilate you when you go to sleep. There's Pokemon that might find you taking shelter and turn you into a living mummy. There are Pokemon that whip up ginormous sandstorms that will not only bury you alive, but possibly might suffocate you and make you get lost forever. But in my opinion, I think the scariest thing in the desert is what lies under the sand. While things above the sand are scary, what lies under there is even scarier, because you'll never know if you've wandered into another Pokemon's territory. It might just take its time, follow you, and when you least expect it, it jumps out and attacks you. Pokemon who wait for their prey to come into their territory while hiding under the sand and then jumping out and attacking them is a great strategy. Not only does it just require a lot of patience, but at the same time, the opponent will soon be too frozen to move, so they can go in for an attack. And for me, I gotta say, that's an incredible strategy, but it was first made by two little scorpions themselves, Skorupi and Drapion. These Pokemon not only are scary scorpions, but they really know how to get the fear factor up. For the first Scorpion Pokemon ever, Arceus really outdid himself, especially for the fact that these are not only just powerful poison Pokemon, but as they get stronger, so does their poison. In fact, the whole type change of Skorupi being a poison bug type to becoming a poison dark type really shows not just that it's becoming a more brutal creature, but just how brutal its toxins can be. Especially with its attitude, these are Pokemon that not only are aggressive with poison, but also will shut down anything that gets in their way. Nothing will stop them. I'm just glad that Drapion and Skorupi oftentimes prefer to live in the desert. However, they can also live in the marshlands, as these Pokemon really like toxic environments. I honestly don't blame them, as seeing that their toxic gets stronger, just like they do when they fight as well as when they evolve, it really does make a pretty good hand-in-hand area. But what's also really cool about these Pokemon is the fact that not only do they have strong toxins, not only can they live in the sand, but they also have such an incredible drive that nothing can stop them. Drapion and Skorupi are amazing. I think that these are probably some of the strongest creatures out there. Not just are they incredible with their poison, but the fact is we don't have any other Scorpion Pokemon. Is it possible that we did, but because of the incredible power Drapion and Skorupi had, it drove other Scorpion Pokemon into extinction? Who knows? But if we are to get any more Scorpion Pokemon, I definitely would be down. So, let's find out what makes these Scorpions so powerful, and also why they'd be great to have on your team. But before we do that, I want to give a very special thanks and shout out to artist HTTP Koopa for my shirt. Today's shirt is the Poison type jersey. If you really love Poison type Pokemon, then this is a great shirt to wear. Since I'm talking all about poisonous Scorpions, and an incredible poisonous Scorpion appears on the shirt, I couldn't think of a better shirt to wear than this one. If you think that I look good in these shirts, I think that you'll look even better. So please check out HTTP Koopa's Etsy shop. I have a link to it in the description below. He doesn't just make Pokemon shirts, he also makes cartoon shirts and video game shirts. Please stop buying silly stock image t-shirts. Get an incredible design that pops. If poison is not your forte, he has plenty of other incredible Pokemon jerseys. So, Check them out, and remember to say Professor Palm sent you. While I may not be sponsored, I still want to say thank you for all you've done, HTTP Koopa. Get ready to feel the power of the Scorpions. Also, let's see how we start off with the little Scorpion to becoming the Scorpion King. And let's start off with the little Trapster and Stinger itself, Skorupi! Oh no, Skorupi stung me. Skorupi, the Scorpion Pokemon, is based on exactly what its species name is, a Scorpion. Specifically, the Deathstalker Scorpion. It's because of the deadly poison, and also, those are some of the deadliest scorpions around. However, Skorupi also draws traits from sea scorpions. For its habitat in the wild, Skorupi are found in deserts and dry areas, as they prefer the sand and heat. However, they can also be found in marshy areas, like Pastoria's Great Marsh and swamps, as they really like toxic environments. The powerful poison from our little scorpion pal Skorupi comes from its tail claws and the small claws. Be careful, as while they may be small, it's said that the smaller these features are, the stronger its toxins can be. Despite its small size, Skorupi is considered a highly dangerous Pokemon. This is all due to the lethal claws and poison this Pokemon has. Its poison is so powerful that it can bring down so many Pokemon at once. It can even bring down the strongest of enemies that fight it. While Skorupi's claws may be small, they're razor sharp, and they can easily slice rocks into fragments as easy as a knife cutting through an apple. The sharper the claws are on a Skorupi, the more experience it has from battle, and more battles it's won. In the desert to catch its prey, Skorupi burrows itself in the sand and lies there, waiting for unsuspecting prey. When the prey finally does walk over, Skorupi leaps out and goes in for an attack. When Skorupi attacks, they grip their prey with their tail claws, and they inject their prey with their savage poison. Skorupi tightly holds onto their prey, and it will not let go of the victim until the deadly poison takes full effect. Once Skorupi has its prey locked within the grip of its tail claw, there is no escape. The poison Skorupi injects seeps throughout the prey's entire body, shutting down everything, leaving its prey to writhe in unspeakable agony. Skorupi are rather patient Pokemon, as they can lie in the sand for hours or even days on end without a single thing in their body. In fact, Skorupi don't even have to eat every single day. It's been said that a Skorupi can survive an entire year without any nourishment from either food nor water. While Skorupi are strong and fast in arid environments, their major weakness is to winters and cold environments, as not only does the cooler air make them slower, it also makes them weaker. In the Galar region, it's been discovered that Skorupi and Sizzlipede share a common descent. They also share a common enemy with the Venipede line. Skorupi made its anime debut in the Pokemon Diamond and Pearl Battle Dimension episode, A Trainer and Child Reunion, where it was under the ownership of Aaron. In this episode, his Skorupi oftentimes stayed out of the Pokeball, just like Ash's Pikachu and Dawn's Piplup. It also formed a friendship with them. In the Core Series games, Skorupi is the frontrunner of Clara's team when you battle her at the Sword DLC Isle of Armor at Mustard's Dojo. Skorupi is also the second in command of Warden Melly's team in Legends Arceus. In Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky, Skorupi was a local bully in a town that Wigglytuff and Igglybuff eventually befriended, giving him and his friend Bayonet the gummies they demanded. They also went with them to the Murky Forest. While we've had many bug and poison type Pokemon over the years, Skorupi is very special. As you see, it's currently the only dual type bug poison type Pokemon to instead have poison as its primary typing instead of its secondary typing. It was also one of the very first bug Pokemon to have bug as a secondary typing rather than the first typing. Skorupi is such a little trapster, and it's very powerful. Despite it being so small, it really has an incredible amount of poison. Also, the poison in Skorupi's body is so powerful that it's currently the only bug-type Pokemon to have an entire type change when it evolves. That's right, the poison turns it from bug to dark, and I think it's time we do just that. Let's evolve our little Skorupi into Drapion! Make way, because here comes the Scorpion King of the Desert. Drapion the Ogre Scorpion is based on a scorpion, specifically the Deathstalker Scorpion, because of its deadly poison, and Deathstalker Scorpions are some of the deadliest scorpions around. Also, Drapion draws inspiration from the giant forest scorpion because of its incredible size. For its habitat in the wild, Drapion live in deserts and canyons, as they prefer a very dry climate. They also like living in an environment that's sandy and rocky. Also, Drapion are very territorial. Drapion is very aggressive, and they attack anything that enters its territory. Also, Drapion can be rather greedy, as it takes a huge part of the desert and claims it as its own territory. Oftentimes, Drapion hide under the sand, and when people and Pokemon cross through the desert, it jumps out and attacks. Due to Drapion's vicious nature, short fuse, and tendency to go on a rampage causing havoc on anything in its way, Drapion has been given a nickname by desert dwellers. To them, it's best known as the Sand Demon. Because of the havoc that Drapion unleashes on other desert dwellers and Pokemon, as well as having the nickname the Sand Demon, and having that horrible aggressive nature on top of it, has only furthered its bad reputation. If you think that you can get away from Drapion, then think again. While yes, it may have small legs, remember, Drapion has 4 of them, and it's incredibly fast, as Drapion can run at 20 miles per hour, and it can also run at 35 miles per hour, and that's when it's on a rampage. Like I said, there's no running from Drapion, there's also no hiding from it, nor can you even sneak up on Drapion, because it can turn its head 180 degrees, so there's absolutely no blind spot for it. The claws of a Drapion are so strong that it can turn a speeding car into scrap metal with a powerful squeeze. These claws also store its powerful poison, and it's so corrosive that one blast of its poison can melt anything it touches. The poison can be ejected not just from Drapion's claws, not just from its tail claw, but also from its mouth. When Drapion bites, just like with its new typing of Dark, Drapion have brutal poison that cannot be stopped if they're not cured immediately. Also, they can do horrible damage to the system. Drapion take pride in their own strength. Even though they can easily tear their foes apart, that's never enough for Drapion, as they really enjoy making their foes suffer, as they finish them off with powerful poison. Other than its strength, claws, and poison, the most powerful thing on Drapion is its sturdy shell that surrounds its entire body. It's so tough, it's said that even a sword would shatter if it tried to slice Drapion in half. While Drapion have no problem destroying everything in their path, wreaking havoc and poisoning other Pokemon, they do have a weakness and fear, and it's to the Pokemon Hippowdon. When confronted by a Hippowdon, Drapion keeps a low profile, as it will never pick a fight with this Pokemon, as it fears the colossal power Hippowdon has. Drapion made its anime debut in the Pokemon Diamond and Pearl series episode, Mutiny in the Bounty, where it was under the ownership of the villainous Pokemon Hunter J. In this episode, Drapion was used to take on Ash's Pikachu, Aipom, and Turtwig, and for the rest of the time Hunter J appeared for the series, her Drapion was a mainstay on her team. In the core series games, Drapion is the ace of the Sinnoh Elite Four Bug-type specialist, Aaron's team. However, despite specializing in Bug-type Pokemon, Drapion is the only Pokemon on Aaron's team without the Bug typing. In Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Explorers of Time, as well as Explorers of Darkness, Drapion is part of Team AWD, a team that pursues the challenges in the Zero Isles, while in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Explorers of Sky, Team ADW is the major antagonist of the story. Being a bug and poison type Pokemon, Skorupi has a few weaknesses when it goes into battle. If you have a Skorupi or you're trying to take on a Skorupi, remember, the moves that it's weak to are Fire type, Rock type, Flying type, and Psychic type. Wow, only 4 weaknesses. That's not too bad, but I think that we should also see what makes Skorupi strong in a battle when you take it on or if it goes against you. Even though Skorupi had plenty of weaknesses, it definitely has a lot of strengths that really give it an edge in a battle. So if you have Skorupi on your side, it learns moves that are both poison and bug type that are super effective on Pokemon that are Psychic type, Grass type, Dark type, and thanks to Professor Sycamore's discovery in the Kalos region, Fairy type. Wow, 4 strengths and 4 weaknesses. That's a pretty even split. But we should also see the weaknesses and strengths when Skorupi evolves into Drapion. So let's see what Drapion has. When Skorupi evolves into Drapion, not only does it drop its bug typing in favor of the dark typing, it also gains a whole new set of strengths as well as a whole new set of weaknesses. However, unlike with its previous evolution that had 4 weaknesses, Drapion upgraded and only has a single weakness, only to ground type attacks. Wow, that's amazing with a whole brand new typing. However, we should also see what Drapion is also really strong against. When in battle, the Ogre Scorpion really shows why it's the King Scorpion, as it's really strong and it's also really aggressive, especially with its strengths against Pokemon that are Grass type, Ghost type, as of Generation 6, Fairy type, and Psychic type. But wait! There's more! Because Drapion gains the Dark typing when it evolves, it also is immune to all Psychic type attacks. Also, Drapion with its typing became the first Poison type Pokemon to be completely immune to Psychic type, which is a really big upgrade. If you encounter and manage to catch yourself one of these incredible poisonous scorpion Pokemon in the wild, Skorupi and Drapion can have one of two abilities, being either Battle Armor or Sniper. A Skorupi and Drapion with the ability Battle Armor have a hard armor over them that protects these Pokemon from taking critical hits. Even if the opponent raises their critical hit ratio, they'll never see one. Also, this does not stop either of them from dishing out critical hits. On the other claw, a Skorupi and Drapion with the ability Sniper can be scary. If they happen to get a critical hit with any attack, that attack is powered up even further. You should really raise the critical hit ratio of both a Skorupi and Drapion in battle. For the hidden abilities that were introduced in Generation 5 of Skorupi and Drapion, they have the hidden ability Keen Eye, which prevents our poisonous scorpion pals from having their accuracy lowered. Then again, they lived in the desert for so many years, and with all those sandstorms, it makes sense that their eyes should be well adjusted and that nothing can blind them. For Skorupi and Drapion, I must say, I really love the type change, as it also reflects their personalities and power. While Bug and Poison is strong like how Skorupi is, when it evolves into Drapion, not only does it become a cold-blooded hunter, but its toxic power even gets a boost and becomes more deadly to reflect the dark typing of how brutal its strength and power as well as its poison has become. These scorpion Pokemon sure pack a nasty sting to their enemies. Whether they use their claws, tails, or teeth, the venom that goes in instantaneously means the end for you. Whether you're in the swampy marshes or the sandy deserts, you better watch your surroundings or you'll wind up becoming a meal for Drapion and Skorupi. Sometimes it's said that the bigger claws on a scorpion, the less poisonous it is. But I happen to disagree. Seeing that these Pokemon have powerful claws on their arms and tails, I think that the bigger they are, the more dangerous they'll be. Then again, whenever you encounter a poisonous Pokemon on a rampage, you better have your Pokemon ready or anything that can cure poison, or you're going down into a toxic shock. Especially for these Pokemon, because they're about to put you down with their claws, tails, and venomous teeth. Seeing that we have walking cactus scarecrows, tornado sand spitting snakes, land sharks, hippos who hide under the sand, live mummies, as well as live toys in the desert, make it a very scary place to live and be. But by seeing how strong Drapion and Skorupi are, they prove not only the strong survive in the desert, but also who's in charge and who rules the sand. I don't blame you if you're scared to set foot in the desert, knowing that you can encounter so many scary things out there, especially these deadly scorpions hiding in the sand. When Drapion and Skorupi rise from the sand, you better be ready for a tough battle, because you've wandered into something worse than a sandstorm or a sinkhole. You've wandered into desert danger.
Yeah! Who rules the Scorpion Kings? Definitely Drapion and Skorupi. I hope that you had a wonderful time in the Desert Trainers, but before we end this, I have a few questions for you. Do you like the type change that Drapion has when it evolves from Skorupi from Poison Bug to Poison Dark? Do you think that was a good change and that the Dark type suits it? Or do you not like the Dark typing and it doesn't suit it and think it should have just stayed Poison Bug? If we could, would you like another Scorpion Pokemon to be on the Pokedex? Also, what typing should it be? Should it be like Drapion, Poison Dark? Should it be like Skorupi, Poison Bug? Or could it be like Low Kicks, Bug Dark? Or could it even be a new typing we've never had and make it a Dragon Scorpion, making it Dragon Bug? Since both Skorupi and Drapion share the typing of Poison, I'm curious to ask, what's your favorite Poison type Pokemon? Out of all Pokemon that live in the desert, what's one of your favorites? And which bug type Pokemon, or Pokemon that's based on a bug, do you like the most and have the fondest memories of?
Well, trainers, hey, stop fighting, you two. Ugh, I apologize, trainers. Let's put them facing away from each other. There we go. Well, trainers, if you liked what you saw, then please leave a like. If you have any questions, you want to answer any of the questions I threw out at you, you want me to cover some other Pokemon line or another Pokemon, you want me to talk about Pokemon current events or something Pokemon related, then please comment. And as always, if you liked what you saw and you want to see more, smash that subscribe button. Also, please feel free to recommend me to any other trainer out there. As a Pokemon professor, it's my job to teach trainers like you. Thanks for watching, trainers. Palm out.